Greetings. Welcome to another broadcast of I Have a Testimony. I'm your host, Brother Willie Muhammad.
God came to us to seek and to save that which was lost. He raised a man from among us.
He, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, laid the foundation. What I'm doing is something that comes from him through me, and the thing that he uses in me to do the work is my faith in him and the word that he taught. To produce men and women who wanted to clean up their life and build an independent nation for the glory of God.
Greetings. Today we're blessed to have some powerful guests. She's a preservationist, if I'm pronouncing that right, business owner and real estate developer, Sister Sajdah Wendy Muhammad, who has embarked on a significant restoration plan for the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is now listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. On July 9, 2022, from 5 to 9 p.m., in partnership with Sister Karriemah and Brother Anthony Muhammad of Magnolia, Crescent, I was about to say Crescent City, but Crescent Orchard and non-alcoholic winery, will host a project fundraiser for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's house, also known as the Sajdah House, right? All of them will be joining us after this clip to discuss this very upcoming project fundraiser and more.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sister Sajdah Muhammad. Join us for Donate and Sip 2. We are hosting an event to help raise funds for the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. The event will take place Saturday, July 9th, 2022. This non-alcoholic wine and sparkling tea tasting event is sponsored by Magnolia Crescent Non-Alcoholic Winery and will be held at the historic Honorable Elijah Muhammad House located at 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue in the rear garden. Bring a friend, come by, and celebrate this historic project with us on Saturday, July 9th, 2022 from 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time. To register for this historic event, click the link in the bio or simply go to eventbrite.com and search Donate and Sip. Capacity is limited.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.
Wa alaikum salam, brother minister.
So we thank each and every one of you all for granting us the opportunity. There she is. You just added another title to your name. I see that too, preservationist. I saw that, right? But thank you all for granting us this opportunity to interview you all about this very historic endeavor that you all are embarking on. So we'll get straight to the actual interview. So, since we're here to discuss the restoration of the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's, to me, one of the most significant Black men raised up from amongst Black people in America and the world, I would like to begin by asking each of you to share with us how you became aware of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and eventually became a member of the Nation of Islam. And we'll go in this order. We'll start with Sister Karriemah, then Brother Anthony, and then we'll close out with Sister Sajdah.
Okay, so I was 16 years old and living with my family in Barrington, Illinois, which is in the northwest suburbs of Illinois. And at that time, I wasn't permitted to go into the city by myself, but I have an older brother who used to play for the Fenwick Friars in Oak Park. And so he would go to the mosque and he would get all of these tapes. And of course, the tapes were of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he would also get books. So one book in particular that caught my attention was called 7 Speeches, the national representative of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So the family was preparing for our annual trip to Jamaica, where my father's family is from. And I brought the book with me. And there's in bold text, it read, "Try Islam for 90 days. And so I thought to myself, I could do that. I could be a Muslim for 90 days, right? And so that kind of started my journey towards learning about the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And later, when I attended Clark Atlanta University, I was invited out by one of my classmates, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And for me, I actually came into contact with the teachings as a student at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, which is a predominantly white institution, but they had a building that they affectionately called the Black House, or the African American Cultural Center. It was more formally called. And there was there were two brothers actually, Brother Clayton X, and a brother named Willie Muhammad, who was a grad student there. They started what I now know to be a study circle. And they invited me and my good friend, dear friend, Martin Young, to come on out to a meeting. And we was like, well, let's go. You know, it was kind of like a gag. We'll go, we'll appease these brothers and just go. And, you know, we were in an altered mind state, I should say, when we went. And I think there were two lectures that they showed us. I don't know if it was the same time, but one was the legendary lecture with Dr. Collins speaking at King College. And the other one was a lecture, a college lecture given by Dr. Willie Muhammad. And I mean, both of those presentations like blew me. It sobered me up real fast. And they actually gave out some pieces of paper stapled together. I'm like, I didn't know what this was. They passed it out. I took it. Years later, I went back and looked at it, and these were actually printout copies of one of the self-improvement study guides. And so that was my entry into hearing the teachings for the first time, having an interaction and dialogue with members of the Nation of Islam. But it was actually Brother Hashim Hakeem, who is the father to Golden Child, and Brother Tyree Hakeem. He's the one who fished me on the west side of Chicago on North Avenue in Austin. He gave me a flyer, invited me to the mosque. He was my first lieutenant, gave me my first bow tie, all of that, trained me on how to sell the Final Call newspaper. So that was kind of my entry into the teachings in the Nation of Islam.
And that's interesting, man, that both of you all are from Illinois, and then y'all end up in Georgia, and now y'all together married. But look how the universe works. So beautiful. And let's go to our sister Sajdah.
Wow, Brother Willie. Assalamu alaikum. You know part of this story, but I have a double introduction. Mm-hmm. When I was a little girl in 1975, when the messenger departed, he appeared on the cover of Jet magazine. And my uncle was sitting on the chair in my grandmother's house, reading that cover and drinking a bottle of beer. And I was so mesmerized over the messenger for some reason on that cover. I still have that cover to this day, that I kept staring at him. And, you know, today my eyes are a little swollen because I woke up real full. I've been crying over a lot all morning, but I used to have these buck eyes, and I would always stare, and I would get in trouble for staring. And my uncle told me to stop staring at him, but I really was staring at the messenger. So when he got up to go somewhere and put his beer down, I stole the Jet magazine and put it under my pillow. And I literally would just stare at that article in that magazine all night. And it gave me a certain energy and a certain feeling, so that years later, after I had literally just graduated from college, I was invited out to the mosque again by another Indianapolis soldier like Brother Anthony, because Brother Hashim Hakeem came in Indianapolis. I was in Indianapolis working for PwC, and one of my colleagues said, hey, you know, come over to my house. One of my sorors is coming by. She's going to invite us to this event, something about Malcolm X or something. I said, okay, I'll come over. And it was Sister Lisa R. Muhammad. And I had never met her. And the minister was coming to speak, but we would go out on Thursday nights to this place called the Vogue. It's like First Thursdays. And so my girlfriends were like, well, we ain't going to hear no minister on no Thursday. We going to the Vogue. And I remember feeling bad that I wouldn't be able to keep my word. And I only went to hear the minister because we had told the lady, who was Sister Lisa R., who came over, that we were going to go. And so I went. And when I went to the side of the stage, I told them, I said, I'm going to go hear it, and then I'll come to the club afterwards. Never made it to the club. But when I went to hear the lecture, I went to the side of the stage to thank the sister for inviting me. And then I was going to beeline and hit the club. Well, she then grabbed the national secretary, the national accountant, and a bunch of other people, was like, y'all got to meet this sister. Y'all got to know her. And the national accountant became adamant about me moving to Chicago to help the minister. And then a whole other chain of events happened. And as they say, the rest is history.
That is amazing. And there's so much in our journeys, our stories about how we came to Islam that can be of so much benefit even today. So thank both of you all three of you all, for sharing those. And that was just a snippet, right? And so as we get to this next question, Sister Sajdah, in the press statement that I was sent about this upcoming fundraiser project, it is stated, quote, that this sacred property is the most important piece of property in modern day African-American history, end of quote. So there are many historical homes of Black leaders around the country, especially here in the city of New Orleans. So what makes this property the most important piece of property?
Brother Willie, because more leaders and iconic members of our community during that time between 1952 and 1972 visited that home. There's no other piece of property in modern day African-American history or Black history where more of our people of significance have visited this one man. And so you can go down the list. There are hundreds of iconic people. You just showed a picture of Dr. Martin Luther King. I saw Stokely Carmichael. I saw Muhammad Ali. There was Thurgood Marshall. Of course, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, whom I've already mentioned, Mother Tynetta Muhammad, James Baldwin, Dick Gregory, Wilma Rudolph, Sam Cooke, James Brown. I could go on and on and on. And so that's what makes this property the mother of all those other properties, because it's the most significant piece of history in our sojourn on this side in America.
Beautiful. You just dropped something that I didn't know when you said Thurgood Marshall. So that's a new history for me. And I know that as people get the opportunity to visit this sacred place, that they'll find out much history that we are not aware of. So I'll transition to this next question, and thank you for your response, sister. So in the opening, we mentioned that Sister Sajdah is partnering with the Magnolia Crescent Orchard, if I'm pronouncing that right, and the non-alcoholic winery, right? So this is a two-part question. The first part will be asked to Sister Karriemah, and the second part will be asked to you, Brother Anthony. So Sister Karriemah, can you explain how and why the Magnolia Crescent Orchard, I'm butchering that word, y'all, and non-alcoholic winery began?
Well, okay, so Anthony and I, obviously, we don't drink. And so, but we do enjoy the bounty of Allah, right?
Right.
And so coming out of the quarantine, we were given, the instruction by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for us to go out and get some vitamin D, go out, get into the sun. And so we chose the very scenic environment of a vineyard, right? And so the vineyard was about an hour, maybe about an hour and a half from the house.
It was 2 hours.
Okay, so it was 2 hours from the house. Anthony was a little bit reluctant to go, but by Allah's grace and mercy, we were able to convince him, since he was driving, to take us out there, our family of 4. And so when we got out there, I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. If you've never been to a vineyard, by all means, please put that on your list of destinations to go to. I mean, it's scenic, it's beautiful. The first person that we ran into was actually the owner. And he was just so excited about us being there that he offered to take us on a tour himself. And then we got into those ATVs.
Yeah, ATVs, four-wheelers.
ATVs, four-wheelers. And we had a blast going up, the little hills and coming down, and he was filming us and we're screaming at the top of our lungs. But we just had a fantastic job. He also showed us the different stages of development of the grapes, yes, and how wine is actually made. So we went to get some slushies because it was a very hot day. And we thought, maybe the slushies would be the safest thing for us to drink. Little did we know that the slushies had alcohol in it. And so we weren't able to partake in that. Those had to go back ASAP. And we got us something else to drink. So on the way home, all, us, the children, we were all talking about how such a great time we had. But the only thing that we wished that were different was that it had no alcohol would be involved. And so that kind of kicked off the whole premise behind ideating about what would it look like if we created in an environment that was just as beautiful, just as scenic, and one that we could have options of non-alcoholic beverages, right? And so we started doing our research, and we were able, by Allah's grace, to start importing these different varieties that we offer. And so we already had a property here, 2.3 acres here in Chattahoochee Hills, where we were getting started with a micro orchard. And we said, okay, this is what we're going to move forward on. And the response, by Allah's grace and mercy, has been incredible.
I thought that story was going to end when you saying that y'all just didn't know that they had alcohol in those slushies, and y'all just found that out after the fact. Everybody going home woozy. So what about you, Brother Anthony? Thank you, sister. Can you explain the significance from your perspective of this partnership for this project fundraiser that's going to take place on July 9th?
Well, it's significant to me for two reasons. One is personal, and that is because I've known Sister Sajdah since I came into the Nation of Islam. I came in at Muhammad Mosque number 2B on the west side of Chicago. And when I came in, Sister Sajdah, or Sister Wendy, as she was known back then, she was right there. And over the years, while we lost contact, I've become to know her through interviews, just how phenomenal of a business mind she is. Mm-hmm. And so to reconnect with her, really at her invitation, she invited us on her show where she focuses Black Muslim businesses, just to discuss what we were doing. And in the course of that conversation, it was decided that we could do some partnering together. And so this is actually the second time that we've come together. We did our first Donate and Sip last month at the Silver Room in Hyde Park in Chicago. And now we're doing it at the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, 4847 South Woodlawn. And so to be able to reconnect with my big sister, but also to work together with my wife, and to bring what we have in the way of non-alcoholic wine to this event, to make it festive, but to also commemorate and celebrate the accomplishments of what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has done, is continuing to do through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, as well as to celebrate the accomplishments of this sister.
That's right.
And hopefully we'll get into it with this conversation. This has been a mighty undertaking that this Black has done. And this has to be part of the story as well, which is really a continuous of the legacy of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so it's really an honor for us. We are thankful to Allah that we've been given the opportunity to join in and lend our efforts and support to help raise funds to complete the restoration project.
Definitely. And you what you said is right, brother. What our sister is doing is very historic and very significant. And we thank her, and we thank Almighty God, Allah, for, and we want to do whatever that we possibly can to get her all of the support and then some for what she is embarking on. So we're coming up on our first break. And then after we come back after that break, we're going to return to hear from our sister Sajdah Wendy Muhammad. Peace.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App NNV News.
And we're back to continue this interview with our guest, Sister Karriemah Muhammad, Sister Sajdah Wendy Muhammad, and our brother Anthony Muhammad, who are talking about this event that's taking place on July 9th, 2022. So, Sister Sajdah, you mentioned that the restoration is 80% complete. So can you share with us what has been accomplished thus far and what else needs to be done and how this fundraiser can help? I know that's like 3 questions all in one.
That's okay. Brother Willie, it's easier to talk about what still has to be done because there's less that has to be done than what has been done. So we are now moving into furnishings. The 3rd and 2nd floor are completed. We've got some plastering to do on the 1st floor, and some of our site plumbing, our primary plumbing is done. Sewage, brand new sewer system, brand new electrical system is done. So we've got our tubs and toilets, and the bathroom fixtures are there. We just need to put them in. Our kitchen cabinets are in. We just need to put that together. We're still waiting. There was a long lead on our appliances. And then we just have to begin to hire staff and begin to teach. But from a construction standpoint, we are probably about 900,000 or so away from completion. And then we'll move into staffing and training and furnishings and things like that. And I just want to say this, Brother Willie, because I came on and I jumped right into your question. I hope it's okay. But I wanted to thank you and for your support, from very near the beginning. I think you've had me on your shows 2 or 3 times. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate Sister Karriemah and Brother Anthony for their help and their support. This is one of those undertakings where you have nothing but you and Allah. You way out up over your skis. We're doing something that is so different that no one has done before. It takes people a minute to figure out whether or not they want to support. Some people support, but they come and they say, and I'm saying this because I posted this morning. We have so many people that come with big dollars, but they have conditions, Brother Willie. They say, well, can you not put the picture of Master Farrakhan Muhammad up? Can you stop calling him the messenger of Allah? Can you stop saying he lives? Can you not enshrine the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan there? And these are non-negotiables. And I didn't get where I am by begging people. I didn't get there on my back. I didn't get there on my knees. I got there on my forehead, praying to Allah and begging Allah for his support and to be like him and be successful. And so in doing that with this project, through people not really understanding, so many crazy rumors. People started with saying, oh, I wasn't really registered. I wasn't really a Muslim. There has been so much. And a lot of people are still reeling from that. But in the end, Allah is the winner and he is the best knower. And so every time conditions have come my way, I have gone on my forehead, which is why I named the house Sajdah House, because it's been on my forehead and how I've been able to make millions of dollars and be successful and to be in a position to even allow Allah to use me. And so we're going to continue to petition Allah and continue to allow him to send us the right place, the right people, put us in the right places, create the right circumstances. And he picks and chooses who he pleases. And so I feel like I am among blessed company when I'm on a show with you all and some of the other people that have been so greatly supportive. I know that they're answering a call to Allah for something that has never been done before. Nobody saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. And so I'm just grateful for you all's support. And I didn't forgot the question, but you can ask me again.
Look, listen, you didn't forget the question, and what you shared and the way you shared it was extremely powerful and important. And it further fuels me to do whatever I possibly can to get others to help in any possible way that they can. And for the haters that are out there, that's all on them. That's going to be a part of the testimony when it's all said and done, because they can't stop something that Allah is behind, So continue to keep being the strong believer in God that you are, sister. And we're going to do all of our part to help in this effort that's a benefit to our entire nation. So I'll go into this next question is a 2-part question. This one first, Sister Karriemah or Brother Anthony, you can answer this first part of the question. Then the second part, we'll go back to our Sister Sajdah. So the first part is, this is the second project fundraising partnership that you all have done. Can either of you, Sister Karriemah or Brother Anthony, share with us what you experienced during the first fundraising?
Yes, sir. Well, we had just experienced a tremendous outpouring of love and support from our registered as well as non-registered members of our family. The environment at the Silver Room was very energetic. It was high-spirited. It was fun. We had a visit from our Student National Secretary, Brother Saad Alim, came by. Brother Aaron, who is your New Orleans home brother, he came by. He showed his love and support. Sister Kenya, it was a who's who amongst our stars, both younger as well as older in the Nation of Islam, and people from the community. We had judges come by, people who are with local chambers of commerce came by. We had entertainers and celebrities come by. And so it was really a cornucopia, as they say, of Black Chicago who came by and supported. And thanks to NNV, we also had the ability to broadcast what we were doing over the internet. And so it was a fun time. We enjoy, as Magnolia Crescent, Karriemah and I, we enjoy just having the opportunity to share what it is that we're offering in the way of non-alcoholic wine, something that we like to call a new way of adulting, because we, as Muslims and people who are striving to be righteous, that doesn't mean we like to live a dull life. We like to engage the world and we like to have fun. We like to be social, but we believe that it does not have to have anything to do with alcohol. So to be able to demonstrate that in that environment, it was truly a wonderful time and a blessing.
Truly sober sophistication. And we had a fantastic time with Sister Sajdah, and just watching her work the room and greet everyone, and just the outpour of love that we saw placed on our dear sister, and the encouraging words we saw extended to her. We were very excited. So that I just wanted to add that part.
And shout out to brother Ben X, who came through as well. So it was wonderful to see our brother.
Thank you all for what you all are doing. And I'll get to our sister. We're talking about the July night. So Sister Sajdah, there are those who will see this interview who may not be able to attend this important fundraiser on the 9th of July because they're in a different city. But how can those who cannot make it still support the effort this weekend and even beyond?
Thank you, Brother Willie. Inshallah, I got to call Brother Johnny because maybe we can broadcast again so that you all can see it. But really importantly, we need your continued donations. One of the things you see behind me is the commemorative Elijah coins. These coins, and I have one around my neck, we made them from the copper from the messenger's home. So instead of throwing away this old copper, we created these coins. And you can see from the one on my neck, it's not small. Even though it's copper, it's not small like a penny. So we're pushing those. We have 1,200 of the graded coins, which is the ones you just showed. And we have about 100 of these left. And so you can purchase those coins by going to sajdahhouse.com. Sajdah House is SAJDAHHOUSE.com. It really, really, truly is a priceless heirloom. It makes it so special because it literally is from the messenger's home. And then if you say you want to just make a donation, you can do that at sajdahhousedonations.com. And like I said, I get all these conditions and folks that want all kind of things, and people sitting back on their hands because they got conditions. They want it done a certain way. They don't want this. But, this is truly a project that Allah is guiding. And I spend a lot of time in prayer, in conversation with Allah, understanding what decisions he wants me to make. I literally talk to him. What is my next best move? And I would be remiss in my duties if I did not give credit to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who has given me 100% access to him. And the beautiful thing about the minister is that he doesn't tell me what to do, like step by step by step. It's like he gives me the spirit and creates the condition and the environment so that I can hear Allah. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful process that it actually lasts even after I get off the phone with him. And so I can't thank him enough. I never would have made it through this project in the right way were it not for him. So that's how you can support. Purchase a coin, sajdahhouse.com, or make a donation, sajdahhousedonations.com.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're coming up on our next break, and we'll be back to have more discussion around this very important event that's scheduled to take place.
Be a part of the force that powers truth in journalism. Your support helps to combat false media. Cash App, NNV News.
AsiaticMinds.com, the curriculum of study from the University of God's Mind. Education that enhances the quality of learning through a virtual school system. The science of mathematics, communication, and deductive reasoning. Our children are the future. Invest in your destiny. To enroll now, visit AsiaticMinds.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call Radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
Thank you for tuning in to NNV News. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. Follow us on social media at NNV News, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, National Network View. This is Clifton Muhammad with NNVnews.com.
Muhammad's economic blueprint, the collective power of our dollars to build a future for ourselves. With 5 cents a day, 35 cents a week, $1.40 a month, and $18.20 a year multiplied by 16 million wage earners would give us $291 million in 1 year. Everyone can give 35 cents a week as an investment in our future. Donate now and see what our pennies, nickels, and dimes can accomplish. Visit economicblueprint.org.
So we're back, and I want to talk to Sister Karriemah and Brother Anthony, and let's talk about this non-alcoholic wine from this orchard, right? Did I pronounce that right that time? I'm working on it. So once again, either of you can answer this question. What has been the response, or what was the response from those in the Nation of Islam and even those outside of the Nation of Islam when they heard you all talking about this non-alcoholic wine?
Well, for the most part, the response has been very, very, very favorable.
Yes.
With any business, with any endeavor that we pursue, you always have, your naysayers, but they're few, far, and in between. The community we have, it has just been overwhelming. We actually started to kind of go out into the community in a real way, in partnership with Sister April at a Magic City Flavors in Birmingham, Alabama. She was hosting Cake and Sips. And so that's really kind of when we started to hit the ground running, sharing our non-alcoholic wines with the community. And I remember one instance in particular where there was a young sister. She had to be like maybe in her late 20s. And she just kind of cried out in the middle of our presentation, "Oh my, I don't have to drink anymore." And it was like such a release for her of emotions where she felt so much pressure. And it was like the pressure was just coming out. And just knowing that she had an alternative, she didn't have to be pressured into having alcohol because her friends were having alcohol. She had something that she could then kind of bring to the table or bring to the party and not feel some type of way about it. And so that's when Anthony and I really began to realize the kind of meaningful impact we could have with offering non-alcoholic wines, is that it's truly giving an alternative. It's giving not just an alternative in beverage selection, but it's giving an alternative in terms of their way of life.
And if I may, Brother Willie, I wanted to also state that there was a married couple, was a sister, she was the wife. She said that she and her husband, who had been married 18 years, they had taken a vow that they would never allow alcohol into their marriage. And so she was so pleased to have what we present as a way to help them remain true to their vow by not bringing alcoholic beverages into their relationship. We did an event in North Georgia where we were amongst several vendors for weddings. Mm-hmm. And there was a woman there with her daughter who was getting married. And she said, I was not going to buy alcohol at my daughter's wedding because I didn't want to be responsible for what happens after people leave the reception. She said, but this is something that I could bring to be willing to pay for my daughter's wedding. So what we've been able to realize is we are really providing a service outside of what we think we can earn in terms of revenue for ourselves and growing the business. Something my wife said last year is that we are seeing this has become really a ministry to help our people cross that bridge out of the oppressive force of alcohol into non-alcoholic lifestyle.
Praise be to Allah.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful testimony. And now, you know, I wasn't a wine drinker prior to the Nation of Islam, but now I'm trying to try some of this non-alcoholic wine to see what is hitting for. And so now I'll transition to our sister Sajdah. You know, you in your last response, you kind of touched on this, and in a previous interview, you shared with us some of the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan regarding, you know, that he shared with you through this restoration process. So I want to ask that same question, but to update it, are there any words or guidance or even excitement that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has shared with you about this restoration since the last time we talked about this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Willie. He has, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has blessed me with his excitement, and he recognizes something in me that actually, growing up as a little girl, I was a little bit ashamed of, and that is how much I love Allah. And that sounds a little weird to us now as spiritual people, but I spent a lot of my life hiding that. Even as a new Muslim, you know, coming in, I was always the weird sister, and I was always a little bit over the top, people felt. But it's because when I discuss this project, when I talk about Allah, it feels to me like time stands still, and like nothing else matters after that conversation. And so he blessed me with seeing that as an attribute, and he says it, and from what I've told, he has said it often about the love that I've demonstrated for Allah. And it makes me choked up, but it's a blessing. Something recently he said to me, Brother Willie, which was interesting. He started to talk to me about the donkey and the braying of the ass, if you will. And he asked me, which he always does on the phone, he says, how can I be of service? And I said, Brother Minister, I can't ask you for anything. I just needed to hear your voice. And it literally was after I had received an ultimatum over a big sum of money from somebody. And he said, pay no attention to the braying of an ass or the sound of the donkey. He said, pay no attention to their annoying talk. And he said, they're just trying to hurt your feelings so that you will not be a true believer. And he went on to paraphrase and talk about how Allah does not like the believers, the true believers, to be annoyed. and how he said, but don't beat the donkey up. He said, Allah likes the donkey. He just don't like the sound that he makes. And so he spoke right into what I was going through that I didn't even really want to share with him verbally, because I just believe that we can show him that we can do this. And I don't want him to feel like after all this teaching that he's done, we can't pull on the God enough to raise a small amount of money to uplift his name and the name of his messenger. So, but he just speaks right into it and casts out the demons, just like Jesus.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful response. And that's something that all of us can learn from, especially when we embark on the endeavor. Because when we embark on the endeavor, and you can even hear it when Sister Karriemah and them mention it as well, you're going to have your naysayers. And some of the naysayers are Allah's ways to test us to see if we are really about what we are trying to do, if we are really serious about this endeavor. And some of the naysayers are just from out of their own envy and their own hatred for what we're doing, and even their own self-hatred, you know. But in the end, Allah is going to bless the believers and those who are properly motivated. So you continue to keep striving, and also our brothers and sisters and anybody who actually watches this. So we have a few more minutes, and I want to get this question, and we'll go to Brother Anthony and Sister Karriemah. Then we'll come back and close out with our Sister Sajdah. So Brother Anthony and Sister Karriemah, if there are any people who are interested in partnering with you regarding a fundraiser, regarding bring you all to their cities, regarding the non-alcoholic wine, how can they get in contact with you all to make that possible?
Yes, the best way to get into contact with us is to give us a phone call. Our number is area code 404-287-5231. Again, 404-287-5231. We're also on Instagram at Magnolia Crescent. Orchards, pardon me. Magnolia Crescent Orchards with an S. You can DM us there. Or you can send us an email to info@magnoliacrescent.farm, .com, not .org. Magnolia Crescent, info@magnoliacrescent.farm. And I wanted to say before you go to synthesizer, see, we not just about, saying out of our lips what's not in our hearts. So, in addition for us to come around and support and lend our efforts to is, we also, at the first donating set, we were the very first ones. Magnolia Crescent purchased our own Elijah coin. So I just, you know what I'm saying? I just had to show and prove that we really adopt this important besides the house life.
And of course, they can also join us at our website, magnoliacrescent.farm. That's magnoliacrescent.farm, FARM.
That's correct.
Thank you so much to Mr. Willie for having us on. And thank you, Sister Sajdah. We love you. We're here in support, and we're going to keep pushing forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let me ask you this, Sister Sajdah. You fought, and I was following this battle and signing a petition and sending it to other people in our region to sign a petition to have the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad added to the National Registry of Historic Places. Can you share with us how significant it is that to have that happen?
Brother Willie, it's significant because, it was a standard that we wanted to live up to in terms of how we renovated it and restored it. It puts the Messenger's home on par with other homes that are listed on the National Historic Registry. And if you Google that, you will see that there's a lot of great homes in the country. Monticello, Frederick Douglass's house, you name it. But it was also important because while for some of us, and I got people who pushed back and said, well, what does it matter? It matters because it matters to some of our people, and it matters as a form of recognition from our U.S. government of the importance and the significance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So they don't just pick a house and say, you can be on there. You have to submit and do presentations in terms of presenting, in our case, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to these organizations and to the National Registry people, to the Illinois Historic Society, to Chicago Landmarks. And what they concluded was that he was significant in our community and in our culture for religion, social history, independent education, and many of the things that we know him to be significant for. And I want to say, yes, you're right. We fought. We had to fight on a local level. We've been fighting and scrapping, but Allah has been blessing us, and the entire city came out for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the entire country. We now have congressmen and members of the Senate and the House who support this project. Shout out to our mayor here in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, who has been a great supporter and is working with us to do some great things for the House and for our community and for the upliftment and pride of our people. And so it's like a resurrection, if you will.
Praise be to Allah. And it is significant. You know, we always talk about how there's an effort to write the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad out of history. And what you're doing with this restoration is is making that effort by those who want to do it even more difficult. And by getting this on the National Registry, it makes it more difficult for them to try to write this man out of history. And in addition to what he has done for the betterment of America, you can't transform the lives of, you know, I would say millions of Black people directly by them becoming members of the Nation of Islam, and indirectly by them being influenced by the theology of the Nation of Islam. He's made a significant and is making a significant contribution to America. So it definitely needs to be known on this National Registry, from my opinion. So we'll close out on this in this last question, and we'll get closing words from each of you all. So was there anything that you all wanted to share during the interview that you did not have the opportunity to share? If so, this is your opportunity. We'll start with Sister Karriemah, then Brother Anthony, and then we'll close out with our Sister Sajdah, and then we'll end the interview. But thank you all again for what you all are doing. And for those who are watching, you know, I guess Sister Sajdah can talk about this. When I looked at the press conference, the press statement, release statement, it's been broken down into categories which people can also contribute, right? I know you can get the $500 coin, but I also saw something that said $100. So maybe she can talk about that. And even if you don't have $100, Barack got into office asking people to give 5, 10, 15, give something. Don't talk about you don't have any money to give something. And then in addition to giving, when you come across, when you follow them on social media, hit like, make a comment, and share it, and inform other people about this effort and what they're doing with the non-alcoholic wine. So in closing, we'll go with Sister Karriemah, Brother Anthony, and then Sister Sajdah.
I would just share, brother, first and foremost, thank you so much for allowing us the honor of being on your show. And we want to thank Sister Sajdah for just the privilege of being able to be a part of this historic undertaking. I would just say that really, as believers, as Muslim followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his best student, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, it is our responsibility to support Sister Sajdah in this effort. It shouldn't even be optional. It is our responsibility. If we say that we are committed to preserving the life and legacy and the transformative impact of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then we are held responsible for putting our money up, putting our energy up, putting our efforts up to preserving that legacy. And so I just want us to look at it from that context. It's our responsibility. The second thing is it's an investment. It's an investment in our future. You know, our youth, our young people will have a place that they can say, that they can send their friends to, that says, this is where you can go and learn all about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the home that he dwelled in. And of course, for him to dwell there, that means that Almighty God, Allah, dwells there. And so just having that that space, having that opportunity, and all the things that Sister Sajdah has planned for that home. I mean, I'm excited. Like, it can't come quick enough. So I want us to really be excited about it. And I want us to match that excitement with sharing our wealth to making this a reality.
Brother Willie, I first learned about this project. I saw Sister Sajdah at a private event in Houston, actually in your region. And I hadn't seen Sister Sajdah probably at that time in maybe 20 years. And so to see her in person, actually, even though I heard her in interviews, but when she laid out this vision and what she had already started, I was just blown away. Just because of the vision and all the things like my wife was alluding to, the integration of modern technology, making this experience that you will experience once this project is completed and this operation is up and running and open to the public, it's going to be incomparable to what you will be able to experience. And so for those of you out there who have not made a contribution, give.
Yes.
Know that you will have had a part in investing in something that will not only, impact Black life nationally, but internationally in all walks of life. Sister Sajdah can go into the conversations that she's had with people from outside of our community who are just chomping at the bit to get into that facility. So don't sit on our hands, brothers and sisters, whether you're registered or non-registered. Give, contribute, because this sister is doing a work that will make all of us, and it is making all of us so proud.
That's right.
And very importantly, it's making the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan proud, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, exalted Christ, and Allah in the person of Master Father Muhammad. So go ahead and get your coin. Inshallah, we'll be able to get a couple more so that everybody in our family will have. So go ahead and get your while supplies last.
That's right. Don't get
Thank you, Brother Willie.
Thank you all. Thank you all. And our Sister Sajdah, thoughts?
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Sister Karriemah, Brother Anthony, those words, I just can't thank you enough for them. And with your help, with all of our help, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad experience at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, also known as Sajdah House, will be available very, very soon, because that's what it is. It is an Honorable Elijah Muhammad experience. He's not dead. He lives. And so when you come to that house, you're going to feel the spirit of his life, his living. You're going to know he lives. And so as Brother Willie started to outline, there are different levels to participate and to donate. But what I really want you all to do is come out, fly in, drive in, drop in, come out to 4847 South Woodlawn Avenue in the rear garden at Sajdah House. We're going to celebrate. We're going to have our donate and sip. We're going to enjoy, inshallah, some more of our key people from our community that will be present. And don't withhold, and I'm going to quote the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad on this. Don't withhold your hand because others appear to be withholding their hand. You do your part. So make a donation. If you want to become a sponsor and you say, well, I got more than $500, I want my name somewhere listed, send me an email, sajdahhouse@gmail.com. And I'll tell you what sponsorship opportunities are available. And that's if you want your name engraved somewhere in the house that will go down in history, your name, your family name, your company name. If you say, no, I'm just going to donate, I'm going to give, go to sajdahhousedonations.com. And most importantly, get that commemorative Elijah coin, because I'm telling you, Goldman Sachs already said that copper is the new gold. And then here the messenger is giving us inspiration to take the copper down from the house, melt it, and make a coin. This is going to be worth more than you know, especially as the big industry giants like GM begin to convert to electric cars and copper becomes more valuable because the copper they use in the lithium batteries and the copper they use to power the electric cars, copper is the new gold. Copper is the new oil. So get that, come out, come support, be a part of this ecosystem. Let's be a part of our culture. Let's not sit on our hands and come on out. We definitely need your support. We also enjoyed prayers, lots of prayers, and lots of good comments. So thank you, Brother Willie. Again, SajdahHouse.com or SajdahHouseDonations.com. What we need right now is donations. Peace and blessings.
Definitely. So, dear family, thank you all, and for the work that you all are doing, to continue to keep doing it. And we'll do our part to continue to get the word out and to get donations as well, because we definitely need to see this project through. So for those of you all are watching, she gave the email address, and she gave the website address, and we'll be posting it as we begin to start posting more of this video and this interview. But please support both of these endeavors. And if you're there, fly in. July 9th is in Chicago. It has the information, and support this initiative. Thank you all. May Allah continue to bless each and every one of you.
Go home and study. See, many of you don't study your religion. Go ahead. And you think you're going to attain something without study. But if you believe in something, you need to study it so you can become proficient in what you do. Now watch this. God came to us to seek and to save that which was lost. He raised a man from among us.
He, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, laid the foundation. What I'm doing is something that comes from him through me, and the thing that he uses in me to do the work is my faith in him and the word that he taught. To produce men and women who wanted to clean up their life and build an independent nation for the glory of God.